The federal government is facing a backlash from premiers over its decision to slash $80 billion in schools and hospital funding.
The states are angry and they're calling for urgent talks with the federal government, accusing the Commonwealth of trying to wedge them into pushing for a hike to the goods and services tax.
What we saw last night from Canberra was a kick in the guts to the people of New South Wales. I have a very clear question to the Prime Minister and to the Federal Treasurer. I'd like him to answer the question, what services would he like us to cut here in New South Wales on the back of the funding cuts that we've seen overnight? What we've had last night from the federal government is a flick pass, it's cost shifting, and it says to this state, we have a problem, you work it out. Well, our message back to Canberra is, no, we are in this together. You cannot outsource your problems to the state.
What I'm doing today, ladies and gentlemen, is calling for a meeting of state and territory First Ministers and an emergency COAG meeting with the Prime Minister. So we want to get together first to confer on these matters, but we're calling on the Prime Minister to hold an urgent or emergency COAG meeting because these cuts are not acceptable in the way they've been presented. We had a COAG meeting only the other day in Canberra. Frankly, I'm disappointed that these sorts of moves were not discussed. This is not the way to do it. It is not fair, it is not reasonable, and it is not in the spirit of a reform of the Federation that the Prime Minister has talked about.
We were surprised and shocked by the extent of the changes with respect to health and education, and there are other aspects of the budget we are examining at the moment.